Okay, so I was just explaining about where the string shapes come from. They're the bottom string of the guitar cages. Okay, 6, 7 root would be the G string shape. All right, and D string shape would be 2, 3, 4. And we're going to try to apply the same logic to the fiddle fretboard, but it doesn't quite work out exactly the same because the tuning in a violin or fiddle is in fifths. But luckily there's only 4 strings, and there's no difference in tuning. You know, it's all P5. So once we get those patterns going, we won't have to deal with the tuning differential like we do up here, where we have from root to this is a third here, where normally from root goes to a fourth there. So root goes to a fourth between the bottom 2 strings, root goes to a fourth between the second and third from the bottom, root goes to a fourth between the third and the fourth from the bottom, but root goes to a third between the fourth and fifth, and then we go back to root to the fourth. So that's a peculiarity of the guitar, but it gives us the shape. It gives us the shape difference of our chords. So a D-shaped chord is like a D-shaped F is, as opposed to, those are the same note pitches, but different shape. And then the E position, just the 3 shapes, the E shape, the A shape, and the D shape. The minors, they give us the different shapes, that tuning differential. So it's not a bad thing. It's something that people have been playing for centuries, I suppose. So let's move ahead. If we want to play a string, if we want to play a fiddle pattern on the guitar, we have to go up a fifth each time. So to play a fiddle pattern on the guitar, you have to move to the right a whole step each time. Okay, to play a guitar pattern on the fiddle, you have to move to the left. To do 6, 7 root, 2, 3, 4, here's 6, 7 root, we got to move to the left a whole step for 2, 3, 4. So if I'm a guitarist and I'm trying to play a fiddle pattern, I would look at the fiddle pattern and play it to the right. So we got 5, 6, 2, 3, 4 there. Okay, that's kind of a weird pattern, isn't it? So let's do this. Let's do 6, 7 root, 2, 3. So we'd have 6, 7 root, but now instead of going from that root over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets, because we're going only over 3 frets, okay, because we're only going up a fourth in this interval, okay. So there, it works. All right, well, let's advance the charts now. See what happened. I don't know if I actually covered these, but I know I edited these charts. There's like 9 positions. We're not going to talk about the fingering positions right now. That's something we'll get to in the future. But it suffices to know I have edited and improved these. These are the double cage shapes for violin. Okay, so there's an AG shape, a GE shape, an ED shape, DC shape, CA shape, and a GE shape. These are the double cage shapes from the guitar, and this is how they play out on the violin. And the interval here is a fifth now. That's why we have to have the double shape, so we can make a coherent scale. 6, 7 root 2. Any shape pattern has to count. The shape, the cage, it has to count. It has to count. So if we have, let's say the A shape, all right, in the key of C, it has to count. So it's 5, 6, 2, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 2, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7 root. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has to count to be a bona fide shape. All right. Incidentally, that's a tripentatonic shape. All right, but it's shaped nevertheless. A tripentatonic, it goes A, D, and E shape. So we get the A shape. We get D. It's D shape now, but it's D shape F, and then E shape. You put those three pentatonics together. Remember, you're not going to get the modal quality. Of course, we got the dominant there because I dropped the shape and did the root seventh, the local seventh of the Mixolydian as the dominant seventh. Put all those three together and you get that diatonic scale. So okay, that is what works for the guitar. We're going to find out what works for the fiddle. I'm going to find out, and I'm going to share it with you. Now, so this chart was edited since I did a little lesson involving this chart. Now over here, you see the yellow notes here, the yellow notes? Those are the major, the C major triad. Let's just call it C for now. So the 5 would be a G, the 2 would be a D, but that, don't take it strictly that D is there. That's the D from D shape in the guitar. Okay, D shape doesn't mean that where that D is a D. It's not. Where it's a D, it's a group of 3 notes right there. That's the D. All 3 of these notes inside the square is the D. Okay, both A has a short shape, so it's a special case. The A, that's not an A note right there. That's 5 sharp. 5 in the key of C would be G sharp. So that would be G sharp, the note there, but it's an A shape there. Here's a G shape, and this is whatever key it's in. Okay, there's E shape right here. These are the string shapes that I made up. And I got them from pentatonic scales and then adding the 4th and the 7th. Okay, so that's what that is. And we're not going to worry about these positions are mostly string positions because people play fiddle. They actually memorize these intervals here. They memorize them, you know. They actually have like muscle training, so they know how to go like this, like if you didn't have anything there. Okay, but for training purposes they put notes on it to some degree of different fashions. I'm going to have some on mine too, but of course mine are going to be shaped like piano keys. So that, and I do full coverage. I don't do like little teeny dot notes or strips. Some people just do strips. They'll do a strip of notes where, say, the 1, 2, 3rd fret is. They'll do a strip like almost where the dots are. They'll put little strips because they actually feel those strips if they're raised up a little teeny bit. They can feel them. Okay. In any case. So the guitar cage positions here, just for reference. Let's go up to the next chart. All right, so it's starting to improve. I still like to hold on to these this smaller, these couple of smaller. But guess what? There's a repeat here. So really, this one does exist, but it doesn't exist. It doesn't have to be like that. These are the only fiddle patterns, just these 2 patterns right here. The 4-string and the long pattern.